Hey, it is the Fatboy Show on your number one station, RX Radio. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. Might you be wearing second-hand clothes? Oh my, be careful. You might be getting haunted by ghosts of dead people. This according to the president of Uganda, who now wants to completely ban the importation of dead people's clothes. In other words, second-hand clothes. He doesn't want them imported into Uganda anymore. The president announced last week that he will this time follow through on his pledge to ban second-hand clothes now that Uganda is, according to him, able to manufacture its own new garments on a large scale. He made this announcement shortly after commissioning 16 new factories in the Sino-Uganda Mbale Industrial Park, some of which are involved in the manufacturing of clothes. And he said, quote, "I told you before that those second-hand clothes are for dead people from abroad. When the white people die, all their clothes are collected, packed in bales, and brought to us, the Africans." Wow. Dead people's clothes. So, Olive, in Uganda, it would seem like a large number of people wear second-hand clothes.
Yes, they do.
So, what is this going to do for them if they ban the importation of second-hand clothes?
First of all, this cannot even fly. You cannot ban the importation of second-hand clothes.
Why not?
And we've tried before. This is not the first time. And
I mean, you just order the border guys to, if it's being ferried across the border, or you issue instructions at customs in Entebbe Airport.
No, I hear you on all that, but you have to look at the ripple effect. You see, I'll give you an example of a market like Sentibali Kudembe. We all know that Sentibali Kudembe deals in only second-hand merchandise. You're going to find shoes, you're going to find clothes, bed sheets, everything, okay? And this is like thousands or hundreds of thousands of traders where KCCA gets the hugest amount of money in taxes from
So
these
now they
people.
will have to deal in Ugandan-made clothes.
But you see, Ugandan-made clothes are also made with raw materials of or textiles that are imported into the country. There is somewhere where the
But
president...
at least they're not dead people's clothes.
who cares? Who has ever died because they put on something that was worn by someone who died
But just to
before?
correct the president, I don't think all second-hand clothes is for dead people. Because I have donated clothing before. Because in my case, because of my weight loss journey, I have so many clothes that don't fit anymore. And it so happened, there was this lady who was running for seats in parliament under NUP. And she was conducting some charity drives, and she asked me if I had any clothes I could donate, and I said yeah, sure.
And you're here, you're not dead. But
And I'm not so I gave her all my clothes.
I've given away
and old clothes and old shoes.
Exactly. I've given away old clothes of mine, or clothes that I don't like anymore, because when you say old clothes, people think rags, but no, these clothes were in good condition. Since I don't have any interest in having more children, I've given away my baby's clothes because they were still in
Never
good
say
condition.
Never,
I'm not saying never, but current Olive is not interested in having children. So I gave away all the clothes I had for my babies, and they were in good condition. Every time my children outgrow things, I give them away.
Okay.
So does that mean, because those are still second-hand clothes, as long as they've been pre-loved, pre-worn, pre-owned, they're still second-hand, even if you bought them here new. Now the president thanked the Chinese investors for reviving Uganda's textile industry. He said these investors had now given him the strength to rid the country of second-hand clothes, also known as mivumba. And this is where I want to correct the president. The Chinese are selling their products in Uganda, but these products are of poor quality. I'll give you an example. You go downtown, you buy a dress, a Chinese-made dress, and then you buy your mivumba. I kid you not, the Chinese-made dress or the Chinese dress that has been made for Africa or Uganda is going to get old way before the Muvumba
It will be
does.
faded within a couple of weeks. A few
Exactly.
washes and it's starting to tear.
And then it has what students like to call measles. You know, those small things that come onto it.
Little balls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet I will buy my Muvumba, and for 5 years down the road, it is still very okay. But also, let's look at the pricing. When you decide to make to have something custom made because you're trying to buy Uganda, build Uganda, the pricing alone, I can go to Muvumba and buy a dress of, let's say, 70,000, and that's on the high end. because you can buy Mivumba clothes for as low as 1,000 shillings.
Really?
Depending, because
Someone was telling me that these traders have also become wise to the fact that there's demand for their clothes. So now they're charging boutique rates for their second-hand clothes.
because some of them are high grade. Fatboy, you'll see me here in a Muvumba top or dress and you won't know. I will have to tell you. Because I will have to tell you that, oh, by the way, this top is Muvumba, because you won't know. So it depends. There is high first class, and then there is, they come in grades. What someone buys at 1,000 shillings is definitely what you is not what you buy at 25,000.
So, like, if you want like original designer clothing, like original Levi jeans, let's say, or original,
you're going to part with some good amount of money.
Okay, and yet you stand a better chance of getting an original high quality item if it's second hand, rather than if you walk into a shop on Loom Street and it says heel figure.
It's going to be a Chinese
because
knockoff.
It'll be exactly. So at least the second hand one would have come from the source, from the States.
From the source. And I've ever bought a bag, a Louis Vuitton bag at 200,000, and it was second hand, and it was good quality. The leather was legit. Try doing that when you go downtown. I mean, Sylvia Worry used to have a shop at Garden City, and some of her items she was selling expensively were second hand.
Oh, really?
Because the quality was good and people used to buy these things. So when you say that you're going to, but let's even go away from the people that have money to buy expensive things. Let's think about the Ugandans that are buying these clothes at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shillings. Majority of us, okay, I'll speak for myself, but I know many parents, most of the clothes your children wear at home to run around and play, Mivumba, no one is going to go to LCY Kiki to buy a dress of 70,000 for the child to just play and roll in the mud. A few Ugandans that have the money, but let's be realistic. How many people can afford that?
So let's talk about that. The LCY Kikis.
Yes.
And the
Mr. Price.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
And I mean, I walk into places like that and I see a lot of high quality stuff.
And there are also a lot of not high quality stuff in
Really?
there. I've bought my daughter's dresses from LCY Kiki, and after like 3 washes, the dress doesn't look that nice, because they are also Chinese dresses, but not of, like, they have good quality and
the one for
average.
Africa. Okay, so I mean, look, they say you are what you wear. So if you're wearing second hand, aren't you making yourself a second hand person?
Come on, give me a break. Let me tell you, I know people that wear. I've seen celebrities in Central Kudembe covering their heads like this.
Like who?
And wearing shades.
Like artists.
Someone told me, I'll tell you off air, this person
Now
is
you tell us.
No, I won't. I won't name names, but this person is always on Twitter breaking news stories. And someone told me they found him in Central Kudembe in a tunic as if Muslim and covered the head.
On Twitter breaking news stories.
Stop it. If you
Where
say
does he
anything,
work?
if you say any, one of the biggest, the political command center. I said no name. I mentioned no name.
I know who you must be referring to.
But anyway, there is also another lady on Pearl Magic. This one, my friend found her in Owino. And she was, do you know I found this babe in Owino with a big chivera? But the way she was covered, people will go on Instagram and tell us, I bought this on Amazon. Manya, what? You're wearing Mivumba. Let no one touch our Mivumba.
All right, but I like that you're very passionate about this topic.
Oh,
I
am. Even at UBC, when they brought it up, I was like.
So you're obviously familiar with the culture of clothing and buying clothing.
Yes.
And of course, as a mother, you have more experience in this, and as a female, of course, even more so.
I'm not going to spend 50,000 on a pair of leggings that are going to be torn in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, I'm a guy.
I can go to St. Valley and buy at 5K.
For me, I'm a guy, and I obviously, as you know, I dress fairly casually, and so for me, even if it's a new shirt, it'll be like 25K or something like that. So I don't know, and I don't think a second-hand t-shirt will be that much cheaper than 25K.
The good ones won't be.
Exactly. So might as well. So
durability.
I'll have you know this one is Brandon.
And don't start guessing. Is Olive stop Muvumba? Oh, anyway, I don't care as long as I look nice, right?
Yeah, that's all that matters. Well, anyway, we'll see. Now, as you mentioned previously, in 2017, that was when there was the first attempt to ban the second-hand clothes. I think that was when the government tried to do it. And then in 2020, the UNBS, the National Bureau of Standards, was forced to rescind this ban. So, as with all things in this country, today it's there, tomorrow it's not. And so
I mean, even the digital number plates that have been causing havoc over the last few days, where ministers have been saying, she said, he said, I didn't see this. Then we woke up on Thursday to a directive from the Speaker of Parliament that they should stop investigating the matter. This is the same thing that happened with Uganda Airlines, with the microfinance support center, and more and more. So really, this should not even worry Ugandans. Mivumba here to stay.
Well, do keep listening to the Fatboy Show, and we are going to touch on the issue of those dreaded number plates that everyone hates, and it turns out it's going to be yet another major scandal that'll plague this country. That and more great music coming up. This is the Fatboy Show on RX Radio.